QR codes are a very handy way to connect physical spaces and objects to specific tasks and learning with the PinPoint app. QR codes are part of our location-based system of what we call pinpoints, which include QR codes, barcodes, beacons, and geofences. And you can create them and access the ones which you have created by tapping the Pinpoints button. You can identify the QR codes as the ones with the icon that looks like a QR code. So, once you've created a QR code, you can print it out and place it precisely where you want specific tasks or content to be delivered. So, for example, you could place a code on a machine that launches an inspection form specifically for that machine, or you could launch training specific to that machine. You could put a QR code at the entrance of a room, which launches a quick safety tip specific to, maybe chemicals in that area. So, there are just many uses for the QR code feature in the PinPoint app. So, how can you create a QR code? Well, it's simple. At the top of the PinPoints screen here is a button, Create PinPoint. You tap that, and you'll see the pinpoint options I just mentioned. Tap QR code, and let's go ahead and name our QR code. Once again, like everything in PinPoint, you just want to work from the top to the bottom. So let's name our QR code. So we'll name it QR example. And we'll go ahead and we will switch on the this include name when sharing. So by switching this on, basically I'm telling PinPoint to include the name when I send the QR code to someone, or if I print it out, that name will be there with the printout. Now we have two options. I can generate a QR code, in which case the app will generate a new code for me to use, or I can capture a QR code with my camera. So if there's an existing QR code that perhaps you want to use, you can just snap a pic of it. Now for this example, let's just generate a new code. So now that I have a new QR code, I can adjust the size of it from small to extra large. Let's leave it as large. I can add a notification. This is a message that pops up on the user's screen when they scan the code. And finally, I can add notes. So this can be anything helpful. Maybe something to remind you what the code will be used for, or, if you switch on this switch here, which include notes when sharing, it can be something your end users, the people who scan your code, can read. So now I can share the code. Sharing it, I could do a number of things, typical kind of share features. So I could text it to someone, I could email it, and perhaps most useful is you can print it. So now we have our code. So let's make it useful. And we make it useful by attaching tasks to it. And these tasks can be assignments, which means a person would need to scan the code to unlock a task that has been sent to them. This is handy if you want to make sure a user is at a specific location when they launch the task. Or the task can be an on-demand, and this means that the user can pull the task whenever they need it by scanning the code. We've covered creating tasks in other videos, so I won't go over every step, but I do want to show you where you add the QR code. So simply right here, simply tap the Add Pinpoints icon, and this shows us a list of the pinpoints we have available, and you can see our QR code that we just created is listed right here. So if I select the QR code, I've now attached this task to that QR code. So whenever anyone scans the QR code, this task that I'm creating will launch. So here I'll quickly show you how this is done with this QR code that I've already printed out here. So let's say that I'm a user and this QR code is attached to an on-demand task that I want to access. So I'll tap the on-demand button and I will select Scan Code, which launches my camera, and you can see that when I scan the code, I am presented with the associated task.